But it's interesting how this one person who I don't even remember their name, they gave me two things that have been very formative and instrumental in my life all these years. So the stone, my Blue Lace Agate, and this other book that I have, and I still have that book. Hi, I'm Ashleigh, and welcome to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. This is a place for the crystal curious, arcane-minded, and everything in the in-between. In this podcast, we will jump down the rabbit hole into the metaphysical, esoteric, occult, and spiritual realms. Nothing is off limits. I'm a mom, wife, an orthopedic physician assistant by day, and a seeker of all things spooky and kooky by night. I've spent my entire career in the medical field, but have always felt like there is more out there, and this is where we will explore together. We will have conversations with crystal healers, rock hounds, artists, musicians, spiritual coaches, magic makers, and anything woo-woo that strikes our fancy. Let's take our spiritual journey to the next level. So grab a crystal, pour a cup of tea. It's time to feel the big crystal energy. Welcome, my magical friends, to another spellbinding episode of the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. I am your host, Ashleigh, and I am so excited to have you here today. So today we flutter into the sparkling, ever-curious winds of Gemini season. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the Quicksilver planet of communication, intellect, and wit. It's a time of chatter, change, playfulness, and exploration. Picture two-winged messengers dancing through the air. That's Gemini energy, light, fast, and always two steps ahead. So grab your tea, clutch your favorite crystal, and let's dive into the duality, the connection, and the chaos in the most magical way possible. Are you ready to tap into your inner twin and play with the mysteries of Mercury? Let's go. But before I get started with all of that, friends, I have a very big announcement. Huge announcement, actually. What is bringing me big crystal energy? You guys, this is my 50th episode. 50. Oh my goodness. Eek! This is so exciting. I can't even believe that I'm at 50 episodes. To think back when I was just starting and I was recording in a closet in an Airbnb in Savannah, Georgia, when I was trying to keep things going while we've been on the road, while I've been trying to record from my phone, when we've been out and about, as I've sometimes had a place to record, sometimes haven't, when life has had its ups and downs, when I've had to take breaks, when I've had to change my vision a little bit, when I've had different times where I didn't have guests and now I have guests and all of the things. So much has happened in 50 episodes. So thank you so much for being here with me on this ride. I can't wait to see where things go from here. I did a poll the other day on my Instagram stories, and I just asked where your interest lies as listeners. And I said, are you interested in just basic crystal content? Are you interested in crystals and lifestyle content? Crystals with like tarot and oracle? Or more going into the realm of oddities, esoteric, occult stuff? And the majority, sorry, I can't talk per usual. The majority of the votes have been in the esoteric, occult, and kind of magical realms. So honestly, that is where I feel like I want to go. So I'm like thrilled that that's where the listeners want this podcast to go. Now, of course, it's all going to be under the big umbrella of Big Crystal Energy, right? So all of it has to do with the themes that I've been chatting about in this podcast so far, but things will be going down different rabbit holes from time to time. And I'm glad that you guys are all along for the ride, because honestly, I have so much in store. I have so many cool guests lined up that will be coming on the podcast that I will be interviewing. I have so many ideas for different episodes. It's going to be wild. There is no limit to the things that I could chat about, that I could find guests for, all of the things. It's so exciting. I feel like it's been 50 episodes, and the 50 episodes took me a little bit of time to, find my path, figure out what exactly it was that I wanted to do. And now I feel like I'm really honing in on the things that I want to talk about. And it feels really good. It feels really exciting. And I just can't wait to do more episodes and connect with more people. It's always so exciting when I actually meet guests out in the wild, in the real world, or, when I meet guests and then they become real life friends and things like that. It's so cool. It's really cool. And as someone that always considered myself an introvert, this has been such a challenge in pushing myself beyond my introvertedness and becoming a more outgoing person. And it has been so fun. I have found so much joy in just opening myself up and putting myself out there and trying something different. And it's absolutely been a wild ride, the most fulfilling passion project of my life, truthfully. And yeah, we're just getting started. So for this 50th episode, I thought it would be fun to do a giveaway. I literally just thought about this right before I hit record. I just realized that this was the 50th episode before I hit record. So I'm like, okay, well, I should do a giveaway. So I'm just kind of ironing out what that is going to include. And truth be told, it's a very busy season in my life right now. So I'm going to run the giveaway, and then I probably, whatever the prize is, the winning prize, I probably will not be able to send it out until later in June. So we'll keep the window open for the giveaway for a while so that more people can get in on it and have an opportunity to win whatever little cool prize that I come up with. But once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm a little podcast out in the world, but it feels amazing to have made it to 50. I mean, most podcasts, they don't make it past a few episodes. And here we are at 50 episodes, and I'm on my second year, and I'm just hitting milestones right and left. And it feels really aligned and fun. And I feel like I'm just rambling on about it now. So I'm just going to stop with that because it's Gemini season. So here we go. We're continuing around the zodiac, and we are in Gemini season. And I want to talk first and foremost about the energy of this particular season. So Gemini runs from May 21st through June 30th. It's an air sign. It's a mutable modality, ever-changing, intellectually agile, social butterfly energy, right? So I've really been feeling that, especially right now. We have some big, exciting stuff going on in our lives coming up here soon. So I've just been feeling that change in the air, especially as the weather changes and things are different outside, and that energy of going from the spring into the summer, and the kids are going to be getting out of school, and it's just all that summer excitement. So some of the key words associated with Gemini season are duality, communication, curiosity, humor, multitasking, variety. So if you know any Geminis in your world, do they fit those descriptions? The Geminis that I know generally do. This is the season to learn something new, embrace conversations, dabble in different projects, and embrace the many layers of your personality, even if you're not a Gemini. Mercury rules over speech, thoughts, writing, and technology. So expect quick downloads, scattered thoughts, and a thirst for stimulation, which I know for me, that's basically me all the time. So if it's going to get any worse, I hope it doesn't. I'm always getting downloads. I am always on that notes app on my phone, just now I have this list of stuff for one thing, and now I've got this list of stuff for other things. And I've just, oh my gosh, it's been crazy, especially when I go out on my daily walks. I get so many downloads when I'm out and about. yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot of traveling during Gemini season. If you've been listening to this podcast or you watch any of my stuff on social media, you probably know that our family is taking this trip to Iceland and New York City here in about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, actually. And so for me personally, this is a really big time of adventure, about being outgoing and just like chatting with other travelers and trying new things in a different country and allowing my family to experience, a different way of being in a different country and a different lifestyle and different foods and all of the things. So I think with it being Gemini season, I think this is the perfect time for this trip to be happening. Just because we'll be picking up on the energies of the season, and it truly is going to be magical. I can't believe it's going to be here before I know it. I've been collecting all of our final things for the trip and putting the final touches on my itinerary. And before I know it, actually 2 weeks from today, the day that I'm recording this episode, my husband and I are going to be doing a vow renewal hand fasting ceremony with the kids. And yeah, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, which actually reminds me, I need to write my vows. I need to write my vows, or my words of encouragement, or whatever I want to say to my husband. I don't know if it's vows or what. It's just, we're going to be saying stuff to each other in front of the kids and just kind of committing ourselves to each other and our family life and all of those things. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it. So what are some crystals for Gemini season? Of course, the crystals. The first one that I want to talk about is Blue Lace Agate. It brings calm to Gemini's buzzing mental energy and supports peaceful, clear communication. I have a piece of if you're watching on YouTube, I have a piece of Blue Lace Agate right here. Just a tiny tumbled stone. I have a personal story that I want to share about this particular piece of Blue Lace Agate, which is something that I've had for a very long time, this one little stone. So Blue Lace Agate holds a very special place in my heart. It was actually one of the first stones ever given to me. I can even still recall the date. It was April 20th, 2001. Yes, 420. I was a freshman in college, so you can imagine what we were doing late at night. We were out and about driving around in the countryside with some friends and, just celebrating the typical 420 things that you do when you're in college. And I felt really uneasy as we were driving around because I had been in a really bad car accident the year before. And I was really nervous about being a passenger in a car. I was much better being the driver, but on this occasion, I wasn't the one driving and I was sitting in the back seat and I was just very nervous. And if you've ever been in a car accident, you probably understand how that feels, especially if you've been in a really bad car accident. There's just a lot of fear that goes into being a passenger. So the guy that was driving the car that night, and I honestly don't even remember his name. I can still picture him. He lived in my dorm and he noticed how uncomfortable I was. And he told me to reach down and pick up something from the floor of the back seat of his car down by my feet. And it was this particular piece of Blue Lace Agate. And he told me, like, hold on to it. It'll bring you peace. So now here it is all these years later, since 2001, that I still have that piece of Blue Lace Agate. It's smooth. It's calming. It's been with me ever since that formative moment of my life. This is the same guy who was also the one that gave me my first book on fairies and fairy lore. And that is something else that I want to talk about too in this podcast at some point, my deep love of fairies, and my deep connection to them since I was young, but that's for another episode. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I have something you need to hear. Have you been feeling a shift, a pull towards something more? Whether you're manifesting new opportunities, confidence, or a major glow up, the universe is listening, and I've got just the thing. In a crystal clarity call, I'll intuitively select 3 crystals to support your manifestations, pull a tarot or oracle card for deeper guidance, and craft custom journal prompts to help you take action. It's more than a reading, it's an energetic roadmap. So if you're ready to align with your highest self, DM me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash for details and pricing. Let's bring your magic to life. But it's interesting how this one person, who I don't even remember their name, they gave me 2 things that have been very formative and instrumental in my life all these years. So the stone, my Blue Lace Agate, and this other book that I have, and I still have that book. So that's just kind of an interesting personal anecdotal story with the Blue Lace Agate, but it's always just ever since that time been one of my favorite stones. It always just holds a special place in my heart. We also have Citrine, and I have a piece of Citrine right here. Citrine amplifies the sunny, cheerful side of Gemini. It boosts confidence, focus, and abundance. I have this I have this Citrine sphere that I bought when we were on our family vacation in Kauai last summer. I'm not sure if I can really demonstrate it here with the camera and the lighting, but inside the sphere, if you're outside and you hold it up, if the light just hits it right, you will be able to see a rainbow inside of it, which I think is quite magical, of course. And this particular sphere is special because we got it on a family vacation, but also I just love the idea of a crystal ball. To me, that is like the ultimate cool, magical tool. So crystal balls, I'm here for them all day, every day. Any kind of crystal, if you have it in a sphere shape, I will love it forever. Next up, we have Moonstone. So I have 2 examples of Moonstone. And I think for this particular episode of the podcast, we're really focusing more on the rainbow Moonstone. So when I was, similar time, 2001, when I was a freshman in college, my family, we went on a trip to California. We went to Catalina Island, and I loved Moonstone. And so I found this Moonstone pendant. You can see the beautiful little blue flash in it at a shop on Catalina Island. And I used to wear this necklace every single day. And Moonstone helps balance the emotional side of Gemini's dual nature. It encourages intuitive flow and reflection, and is just truthfully been one of my favorite pieces ever since I can remember. Especially this necklace, which sadly I think it's set in sterling silver, so it desperately needs to be cleaned and polished, but I still love this piece. It's always nice when you have pieces that remind you of a certain thing, because then you can really associate the memory of that time with the energy of the stone. I also have a piece of black moonstone right here. It's a little carved heart. I love the carved hearts. Finally, I am going to talk about Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye grounds scattered energy. It strengthens decisions and decision making and provides mental clarity. I feel like the brown of the Tiger's Eye feels very earthy and grounding. So that's like one of the ways that I think about it. But then it also has this kind of revitalizing energy to it because it's got that flash and it's got that gold banding in it. So it's just a beautiful stone. I just have a little tumbled piece of Tiger's Eye, which is what I usually just carry with me sometimes. I don't have any big Tiger's Eye pieces in my collection. What are some different ways that you can work with these stones? Well, you could meditate with a crystal in each hand to balance the dualities. You could carry a blue lace agate during intense conversations. I think that's probably very helpful. You can place Tiger's Eye on your desk to ground you while you're multitasking. You could create a crystal grid with citrine and moonstone under the new moon in Gemini to set intentions around learning, communication, or creativity. Well, it may be too late for that because this episode is going to air after the new moon, but, new moon energy is always fun to work with, but unfortunately this episode is going to come out a few days too late. But yeah, so you could just make a crystal grid. If you have any of these stones, you could just make a crystal grid with these stones and then set it out and just meditate with it, or take one of the stones every day, pick a different stone that you want to take with you, put in your pocket, whatnot. For me, I have a zodiac altar set up down in my kitchen. So with every different season, I put out the stones that are associated with that season, along with other herbs or different correspondences that have to do with, this month being Gemini. So I'll probably set up, I have this card from The Stars Are Divine. It's an oracle deck. And so this card here it shows a yellow rose, which yellow is associated with Gemini season. And then the butterflies, the social butterflies, and then the symbol of Gemini. And then it's just got like this very celestial background. So I set this particular card up on my altar, as well as I put up some candles and crystals and usually like a bundle of herbs or something that is associated with the season. So right now I have a bundle of lavender down there by my Gemini altar. So lavender is great for easing mental restlessness. You can use it in teas and bath. It's very versatile. Peppermint also. Peppermint is great for stimulating mental clarity. It's great for diffusing while studying or working. If you have some peppermint essential oil, and you can put it in a diffuser. One of the other things that is an easy little diffuser that I had bought a box of kind of magical witchy things maybe a year or so ago. And one of the items in it it's this tiny little cauldron, and it kind of hangs on this little hook. And so you can fill the cauldron with whatever you want to fill it with. I usually fill it with some water and then essential oils, and then you put a little tea light under it and it heats it up, and then it makes the room smell however you want it to be, or whatever correspondence you want to put in there. Sometimes I'll put herbs in there too with the essential oils, things like that. So for me, that's like a really great diffuser, because sometimes I find that the diffusers that you buy, that you can put the oils in and then they just steam, they like express like the steamed air. I don't know. Sometimes after a while they tend to smell odd, even if you wash them. I think because then the oils, like, they tend to accumulate over time, and then it just doesn't smell good. So my little mini cauldron, I don't know, you can find them online. They're probably like $15. For me, that's just been really helpful. And then when I burn that, then I can just dump it out and clean it and then start something new when I want a different scent for the room. But it just seems like an easy way to burn essential oils. Okay, so, and who doesn't love lavender tea or peppermint tea? Lemongrass is also a great herbal correspondence. It clears stagnant thoughts and energizes the spirit. I personally haven't worked with lemongrass that much, but I love the smell of it. And to me, it seems like it would be the perfect herb to work with this time of year. Other correspondences are yellow, which we associate with mental brightness, light blue with expression. Once again, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Its element is air. The day of the week is Wednesday, which is Mercury's day. It's perfect for spells of communication or clarity. Now, with Gemini, the tarot card that is associated with this season is the Lover's card. I mostly am working with the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sterle. I don't know. I'm probably saying her name totally wrong. I apologize. So let me show you. Here's the card. This is what it looks like. The Lover's card in the Modern Witch Tarot deck shows a powerful visual of choice, connection, and divine duality. It's vibrant and modern, featuring two figures standing in harmony beneath a blazing sun and a hovering angel. It's offering protection, clarity, and divine wisdom. Gemini energy isn't just about duality, it's a mirror. The Lover's card asks, what are you reflecting, choosing, or connecting to? In the Modern Witch Tarot, the Lovers speak to empowerment and equality in relationships, perfect for Gemini's egalitarian idea exchanging spirit. A journal prompt for this would be, where am I being asked to choose, and how can I honor both sides of myself in that decision? You can use this card in Gemini season as a visual meditation or altar centerpiece when you're seeking clarity in love, friendships, or personal alignment. I also, just to have another visual, pulled out the Lover's card from the Queer Tarot, which I love this deck so much. It's very similar, but the symbolism is slightly different. But I really love this deck as well. In the Modern Witch Tarot, the couple is looking up at the angel. In this, they're looking kind of away from, I don't know if this is, I don't think it's an angel in this picture. In the Queer Tarot, I don't think it's an angel, but it's an individual that is holding their arms out like wings, and kind of, it looks to me like they're blessing the two people standing down below. But I love this deck because I just love the symbolism, and I love the colors, and I just love the whole thing. I have a simple Gemini season ritual that you could try. It's for clear communication and integration. What you would need is Blue Lace Agate, a yellow candle, pen, paper, and some peppermint tea. You want to brew the peppermint tea and light a yellow candle. You'll want to write down 2 sides of an inner dilemma or situation that you're facing. Hold the Blue Lace Agate in your hand and take 3 deep breaths. Speak aloud your intention to find clarity and embrace both truths. And then at the end, whatever you've written down, you can take the paper outdoor and you can burn it and just let those little tiny pieces of ash kind of let the wind take them away. That's all I have for you, friends. We'll keep it short and sweet today. I really appreciate you guys being here and continuing on my zodiac journey and my podcast journey and my crystal journey and my spiritual journey and all of my journeys. I'm on so many right now. I like to say that I'm just in my unhinged era. So until next time, my crystal loving friends, keep your minds open, your hearts curious, and your magic light as air. Speak your spells, laugh at the chaos, and let Mercury guide your voice through the stars. And also, get out there and enjoy some big crystal energy. Bye! Thank you so much for jumping down the rabbit hole with me. If you connected with this episode in any way, I would love it if you could share it with a friend. Also, please tag me on social media. I'm at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast, mostly on Instagram. It helps so much getting my episodes out there and finding more magical, kooky, and spooky friends. Sending you all big crystal energy. Cheers!